Students, today we're just going to utilize the software Office Word. I have the version of Office 365. So if you have something else, sometimes the text, the tabs might be a bit different. It may look different as well. But what we want to cover today is just basically how to utilize the functions and features for Microsoft Word. Okay, now I will be using some foreign tools. So just to get some data, I just get some information from ChatGPT just to get it quickly. And just to do bibliography, I saw an easier way to actually present it and have it done easily without you having to use the word function of the bibliography. I find it's a bit tedious and sometimes it doesn't work as well as the site that I normally use. Okay, and of course you could go ahead and search for other things that you would want to use to make your document stuff better. Right, so the first thing I'm going to start with is setting up documents. Now I like to create nice little illustrations. Right, I use a website called Napkin, so if you all want to utilize it, you can just write down the text in like point form and it just presents it. And if you all want to show you all that, I'll do it at the end. So
Napkin, N-A-P-K-I?
yes, napkin, like normal napkin that you write. Yeah, AI, and that's here. Good. So I don't know why it's upside down because I wanted to start from top to bottom, right? But it's on the first part here is on setting up a document. Now you can actually create a document easily by just doing it from scratch, which is actually having a blank document. So when you just open up Word for the first time, you should see this screen pop up here, right? Now, something you have to consider is that the blank document is just basically nothing at all, and it just basically gives you a blank document with no set of functions, no set of features or anything. So again, if you want to basically use this. Now, if for its SBA purpose, I would believe, whereas you need to kind of put things into APA formatting, you could always get a template and utilize that with actually coming on this side here for more templates, and you can just basically put APA format here. Alright, now ensure that your computer has internet, because sometimes when it's not downloaded on your computer system, it will not show up. Okay, so we have the APA professional style and the student style. Now, if you don't know what is APA formatting, it is just simply automatically giving you headings in advance, right? Which is just simple text. The line spacing, meaning that from one row to the next, it will be like double spaced or 1.5 according to how you will want it. And it will have some text information of how the document will present itself. So this is basically how it looks here. So you actually see that the line spacing it's a little bigger, right? It's 2. Right, and if you want to alter these things, you can basically go ahead and get back to the line spacing here, and you can make that change here, and that's on the Home tab within the paragraph section there to change the spacing. Now, for my requirements, I would always love to have Times New Roman, and that's the font that I would want for my documents for my students. If you have a document or a font that is clear as the Times New Roman, you could use it, but it's normally Times New Roman for me, 12. Now, you may be thinking, why am I telling you this? Because sometimes when you have to create a document and you have to set these functions over and over, it becomes a bit tedious. You probably lost like 10-15 minutes by doing it. So, what you could do if the document is done there and it has the data, whatever text, you could do a simple Control A to basically select all and highlight everything on the document. And I can just basically come here and just hit my Times New Roman here, please. And just like that. Now, if you want to permanently set font style headings, you can basically utilize these things by actually, you see these nice little triangles that you see here at the bottom? Here. So here is where you can actually use the function to permanently set a function or on Microsoft. And let me show you that now. So I have mine already set in Times New Roman 12 because again, trust me, this takes Times New Roman 12. So what I advise, I get one of these. Alright, so basically I'm going to go to the font here, and it basically shows you another a display that you can basically set the font, the size, and the style. So as you all are seeing here, it's basically right here. So I'm just going to type up Times Roman. Okay. Times Roman is shown. You'll leave it a regular because, again, you don't want every text to be bold or italics or even underlined. So keep it to regular for the style. And the size is always recommended for 12 to 14. if it's just a text. Usually headings would be like a little 16, probably 20, according to what kind of heading you have on your document. But these are just the requirements that you should put. And if you want to write it down, you go ahead and do so. Now this is just the text information that I will want with this font functions. So I'm not going to put no font color. I'm not going to put any underline style or anything. No set of big effects, nothing like that. It's just for text data. Now,
Sorry,
yeah.
I wondered if I put the single line just a little bit, it might be a little bigger.
Yeah? Alright, yes, it will be a bit bigger. Just a sec. Put it. Right. So, sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to start from there, right? So, we just want to change the heading formats. Yeah? So, we go into style, we say the kind of diagonal arrow. You will see heading 1 and basically modify here. And you could change the heading 1 to what you would want. Right? Now, it will show you some sample data. Again, you could set it to Times New Roman. You could set it bold. You can increase the font size. So I can put it at 20 this time. And I would want it at the center. You could change it to whatever side you'd want. And you basically hit new document based on this template. And it should keep that heading 1 level here. Same thing for heading 2. You could do that as well. Modify heading 2. So keep it at Times New Roman. So since it's heading 2, it can be subtopics. You can put it at 16. You can probably put it at italics and bold. And basically, new document based on this template. And you basically hit OK. So when you do that now, you basically have headings already assigned. So you're actually seeing it here with the heading 2, and this one is heading 1. The heading 1, I put it for center. The heading 2, I leave it at the left side. Okay? Now, why you do this? Because 1, you need to produce a table of contents. So how you go about producing a table of contents? So normally you have to put this at the top of your document, of course, right? So I can just basically create a page. Now you can go ahead and go into your insert. From your insert, you can just hit blank page here. But again, the old-fashioned way is just basically hitting space and sending out the document, right? So this is a blank page here. I would want to put my headings of table of contents. So I could just go to reference. From reference, I go to table of contents. And normally, it will basically give you some automatic table of contents. Now, this is a template that I'm using, so it already had headings currently existing in this document. Okay, so automatically build the heading 1, and basically there you go. Now, once you create the table of contents, you can rename it. So I can put table of contents here. Right? And if you want to add a table of contents, you have to firstly try to change where you want the heading and just basically do the table of contents. So how we do that? So let me just say we want this author note as a heading 1. So I could put this as highlighted and then put heading 1. So you see it actually takes the bold and it takes the size, but it should have. Right, that's a whole. Let me just write one here instead. Alright, I'm going to put this as heading 1. Right, so you see it actually takes the format. If I go back to where the table of contents is, and I basically hit update the table, it continues to update the entire table, and you would see the author name here. Now, where I put the author note is on the top, so it will take the first position. But all you have to do is just make sure you section it properly, and we should get where you need the table of contents. Right? Everybody okay with that? Right. Next thing is your page number. Now, your page number would normally be on your header or footer of a page on a Word document. So, you basically want to put it at the top of the page or at the bottom of the page. Now, for this document, it's on the top of the page. So, again, you could take it off and you could set it somewhere else, and it's all according to where you would want it. Okay? So, we just can get the page number. Right. So if we come here, you would see the information for headers and footers. So you see in here, with the table on the header and the footer, you could basically set the number here, or you could go here and set it at the bottom. So without just going on the header or footer, you could go on not the line. Alright, just give me 1 minute. Right, sorry about that. So the page number is quite here. Right, and that is in the headers and footer. So how to access the header and footer? You basically have to go to the top of the page or the bottom of the page, and you basically double click. When you double click, the header information will come up with your header and footer tab, and then you basically go to the most left and you'll see page number. And you can go ahead and put it to the top of the page, bottom of the page, and which position that you would want it. So it's already on the top, so let's try to put it at the bottom, and let's put it to the right side. So you can actually see the footer now is down at the bottom here. Now for the top, that has already the page numbers, you can just cancel that. So when you see the top of the page, and you just basically remove it. Just like that. Okay? So that's basically how you would normally change or take off the page number. Okay? Are we good so far on that? So that's basically straightforward, right? So, bibliography. Now, we have a referencing tab that you can utilize to manage your sources, put it on the Word document version. To me, it takes too long. Right? So what I just want to do is basically use this nice site that I have here that is going to give up bibliography. So just for example, I'm just going to go and go down to the bottom of the page because the bibliography will no more be at the bottom. Right? So I'm just going to take this section here of the document and just add it here. Move this information, and I'm going to put this as references. Right? I could put this as headed 1 all again, so it will be easy for me to put it on the table of contents. Headed 1. Right. Now, referencing is not just putting a URL and expecting it to be proper citations. Right? Some things have to be considered when you're using APA format referencing. That is your author. Right? So if the website have an author or the book have an author, you put the person's name first, you will put the link, then you will put, okay, what is first name, last name, or whatnot, and whatever functions that you would want to add. Okay? Also, the time is important because remember, that's the full information that you would need for APA formatting of referencing. Okay? So this is not going to work. So I'm going to put just google.com. And let's enter, and that's basically create a hyperlink, but this is not proper referencing. Okay? So, how do we go about doing that? When you get the link, go onto this nice website that I have here. So, I'm just going to go on the Chrome. Right? And I just had a website here. Let's go back to this one. And it's basically called EasyBib. Right? I think I used my Bib as well, and that was also generating, but I just want to show you another one, right? So let me just say you have the links for all the websites and whatnot. You can take that information and just let it generate it for you. Look how it does. It happens. So I just want to take up a random website or things, or let's put like this website here is Wix. So I am just basically going to take this information, right? Copy it. And that is just a random, it could be any URL, right? I'm just going to go back to the site now and just basically generate. So how we go about doing it, we can just get started to create the citations. When you go into create the citation, you could choose the source. Now I know it's a website, so I will click website. If you know it's a book, you put the information down and you just basically set it. So I'm just basically, right, after. Yeah? So with the website, all you have to do is just enter the URL here that I did already paste it, so it's there. and you basically search. Now what this website does for you, it gets the information of everything that you would need to put as on your reference. So after you do that, you would see this is the manual citations here, and they would say, okay, this is the website that was found. All you have to hit is cite. When you do that, there'll be information you need here. So this is the article title, right? This is the URL, the website title, the date accessed, the date published. And that is the information you would need to put. So all you have to do now is just take the same information and you just apply it on to the Word document. Okay, now this is not the only site. If you have an easier site, you can tell me here. But you can also use it as well, right? Once you get the proper information. That's basically it. So it's again easybib.com. You have to look at it. So let's see if you can do a book or something. So let me just go back a couple steps. Right? Now I haven't used a book format before, right? So I'm just gonna, let's just say, take some information for the journal. So I'm just gonna search by title. So why not? So I'm just gonna put information technology. To see if I can search for the book. Now, when you're basically looking for a book, put the name that is in bold and you should be able to find it. So, CSEC examination. That is not how you spell examination. Right, so there we go. And I'm just going to see if I can search and find that book. Right? So, it had 25 results. Okay, now what you can basically try to do to minimize some of the searching is probably put the author here. So I'm seeing Howard Campbell. So I'm just going to try that. Next. The date? Yeah. Does this one have the year, boy? Yeah, I'm not seeing it yet currently. Right, so I'm just going to put the name and see it. Right? So, let me just put the person's name as well. And see if that works. Now, again, with the journal, it's a bit funny because it's not going to find everybody textbook because not every textbook is soft copy. Right, so it's searching, let's see if we find it. Right, so yeah. These are different books. So it wasn't able to find. Right, so what you can do, you can type it out. So type out the name of the book, the author name, and then you will just basically put the year as this.
So sorry. I'm talking to this young. This is the same as they're using the books?
Yeah, you can use it.
What you put in it?
So you can put the title of the book, yeah, the author's name, and probably brand, Samsung or Macmillan. Yeah? So you can try that. Right? And that's basically how you get it for like the... Who? Who's that? Right. Try it on your own time, right? No. I suppose to know? Anyway, just remember we are still on recording, right? So anyway. Alright, so the last topic I want to run through with you guys, because I spent so much time here. So we was able to do the setting up the document, headings and functions, table of contents, the bibliography, page number. Now it's on the statistical graphs. So, as a simple suggestion, for me, graphs, I like to do it on Excel more than on Word, because if I have to do like functions or calculations, I can set it there. But Ms. told me that you're not going to do calculations, it's just for presenting information. Okay, so you all can use it. So how you go about creating table? So there are a number of ways you can basically create it, right? So I'm just going to create another blank page here. But I get it. Right, it'll come on top here for some reason. Okay. Alright, so you can basically create a table as easy as this by basically presenting it like this, and let's just say we're looking at 6 by 5. and basically create a table. Now, sometimes this is just a plain table, but you could basically edit the styles to what you would want on a table on top here as soon as you insert the table. Okay, now just remember that I am in dark mode, so you're not going to see every format of the table being shown, right? And you can basically change shading, modify it to your liking, or you can even go to modify table here, right? So it has some cool ones. You all could basically check it whenever you get time. Now, just due to the press of time, I just do a simple chat GPT and search some information about footballers. So I just basically take this information here, right? Oh God, they give me plenty here, but right. So I'm just going to take it for the first 5 years, right? So 2005, right? And I can basically take that information and present it here. Now, if you don't have enough tables, you can just basically add columns. 2 ways: just highlight here, you will see an insert, and you would basically insert a new column if you'd like, or you can insert the row from above or below, depending on what you want. If you highlight 3 cells or the 3 rows, and then it's basically insert again, what happens? You will get 6 instead. So if you want to get more tables, you can basically do it. Now, reason why I don't use Word sometimes it don't paste properly, right? So it's a little more in a control environment when you're using Excel. So if I just basically paste, sometimes the word, it doesn't match up properly. So I'll have to remove this because we're out of the years here, basically. So I'm going to do a simple delete, and I'm going to delete the entire rows. Just remember, rows are horizontal, columns are vertical. Okay? So please don't make a mistake and basically delete it by mistake and you can't get it back. I'll show you all some simple keybinds afterwards. Okay? So how we have that information here, you can now have the data presented and you could basically manipulate the table, right? So here it doesn't need all that space. So I'm just going to move across things here. And I realize that the club primary here is just basically filtering and players played, match played, sorry. Now, you can highlight the entire table easily by hitting this cross here on the top left, and you can basically center everything that you would want, basically, and it should work for you as well, right? So, you can basically set it or change it. Right, so I think how I copied and pasted is actually moving, but again, that's basically it. Now, how do we get this information on a chart or a bar graph or something? You can highlight the information. Now, most of the times, you don't need all the information in the table to present it as a chart or bar graph. Okay? What you can use is basically some columns of data or some rows of information that you would want, so you would want to present. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to highlight 2 things for now. So I can basically highlight this. I do the first 3 instead. Highlight here, and you can just go into the Insert tab. From the Insert tab, you will see the charts here. And with the charts, it will give you all of the type of charts and bar or pie charts that you would want to basically present the information. So which one you will normally use? The bar, a bar? So we can go, right, so you have the column here and the bar charts here. So we basically get a nice little presentation here of the types that you would basically get to present the data. So let's use this one. So I'm just going to hit OK, and it will take a little while to load, but here the information is. Oh, sorry. Guess what happened there? Right? So I'm supposed to actually come down here and basically present it, right? So again, it's not as controlled as it's said with the Excel. So sometimes it may present itself across this. Yeah? Yeah, you could. Right? So you could. Say what? Docs? I wouldn't suggest it. Right? So you're seeing what's the conflict here, right? It basically being presented here on the actual document. So what I can just basically do is cut and basically come down here and paste it. And that's all I did. This was here, I just present it back, enter it back here, and you basically get it. Now, 2 important things that you basically need to do with this information is basically change like the title chart name, so you can just double click this. So I'm just going to put this as the footballers info, and I just want to take off the word title. Right here, you will have to go into the information here to basically take all the text options, right? And you would see.
You want to label the axes as well as
this.
right. So like how you have the city there, you would want
to label it. Right. So you can come here and you can add and remove the elements, layout, choose the options, do the styles. So let's go here. So the title chart. Again, there's some things that you could basically enter. So let's just see how to actually. Let's give you a minute. Sorry, I have too much work done to do with my phone for students. For a price. Alright. Normally when you take information from the table, it's supposed to automatically put that information in. So I just want to try it on Excel to see if it works better, because again I don't use the word to create or present, right? So Alright, so here's Excel. Now we have to be very careful because sometimes the data can be sent all over the place. So ensure that you basically highlight the information that you would want to present, right? And of course you could still do the table formatting when you go into the view with the table, and you can basically edit the size in here with much ease. So I'm just going to put some data across here, right? So I'm just going to highlight the same thing again, right? And then go into the insert, and you actually see more of the charts here. So we did a column or bar, so we're going to go back to the bar here, and you can see automatically that the data already here. So it takes the information from Rolandino here, and basically, right? So if you want to get more information, you can just play around here with the information or select the data, right? And you can add it here. So you see that you actually have more functions here to add, right? So I'm just going to put Thierry under here. Let me see. Okay. It should present the information here, and you add it. So you actually take the information. So you'll have to basically try and navigate through what you want to basically see when you're basically creating and using the charts. Okay? Let's try a pie chart instead. So I'm just going to highlight the same information. Insert, and let's go to the pie chart. So I don't know why it's not showing up, but it's supposed to. Let's try this one. Right. So some of them is only work with just one column or something. So again, you have this information there. And you can also edit the type of chart you would want. Right? Now I'm sure that you could have changed the data from here, but I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Alright? I'm going to basically change it. Right? But I'm seeing select data here. And you can just basically change some of the data.
Can you show them the edited image like colors and stuff?
Colors? Right, so as soon as you basically enter the information here, right, like that. Right. So colors, you can basically come here and you'll be in the chart style, and that's in the chart design. You have other options that you could basically utilize. And you can even you can actually go into the format tab. And with the format tab, you can basically change the shape, filling, color.
Okay, you've seen that? Because I know we are writing to not make by parallel, right? Like parallel, like. I'll show as well. But there's a personal preference and it's less but we'll talk about it.
Right? So again, that's basically it. I really thought you could have changed the text here. I don't know what is going on. Right? But it's just not changed the text. It just taking the text from what was on the table.
Yeah, not in this 21st century. This is hard, it was not. That's what it's only way hard. What? No.
Guys, you can always search it as well. You don't always, try to do the harder thing or let somebody do work for you, because sometimes you have to do it yourself when you go and get the inquiry. The last thing I want to show is just some keybinds that can help you just carry the information very quickly. So keybinds are like little simple shortcuts that you can basically hit, and you should be able to get the keybinds. So the control is at two areas in the keyboard, so you can always hit the control to do certain things. So we have the control C, and that is to basically copy. Alright? Control V is to paste. Alright? What about control? What about control X? Huh? That's cut, good. Alright, what about control Z?
See?
Yeah. Alright. Right, so again, you all know it, right? So you have the others. Where's control Y? Huh? Cut and undo. Right, so if you do an action, so let me just say, I just write that. So undo is Z, right? It will just put back the information and keep going back. Right? Control Y is to redo. Yeah, control Y is to redo. What is control A? Right? Select all, you call it. Right? And control S to save. Right? And it has so much others that you can search, right? Keybinds on Word or Office tools. Right, so that was basically the demonstration, guys. I hope you all learned something. So again, I will try to put the video up on the YouTube account, and I will give you all the